Turning 50 is a milestone that brings both celebration and reflection. For many, it's the decade that determines whether retirement will be comfortable or filled with financial stress. Yet research shows that 70% of Americans in their 50s are making critical mistakes that could cost them hundreds of thousands of dollars by the time they reach retirement age. These aren't small oversights. These are fundamental errors that can derail decades of hard work and savings. The good news is that every single one of these mistakes can be fixed, but time is not on anyone's side. The decisions made between age 50 and 60 have more impact on retirement security than almost any other decade of life. This is the window where course corrections are still possible, but procrastination becomes extremely expensive. Understanding what these mistakes are and taking action immediately can mean the difference between retiring comfortably at 65 or working well into your 70s. Let's examine the 7 most common and costly retirement mistakes people make at 50, and more importantly, discover exactly how to fix them. Mistake number 1 is underestimating how much money is actually needed for retirement. Most 50-year-olds have a vague idea of retirement savings goals, but few have run the actual numbers. The average person believes they need around $500,000 saved for retirement. However, financial experts calculate that someone retiring at 65 with modest lifestyle expectations needs closer to $1 million to maintain their standard of living for 30 years. This isn't about living luxuriously. This is about covering basic expenses, healthcare costs, and unexpected emergencies. Healthcare alone can consume 40% of retirement budgets for those who retire before Medicare eligibility at 65. A 50-year-old who hasn't calculated their specific retirement number is essentially driving toward an unknown destination without a map. The fix is straightforward but requires honest assessment. Take current annual expenses and multiply by 25. This gives a baseline retirement nest egg target using the 4% withdrawal rule. Then factor in inflation at 3% annually for the years until retirement. Add healthcare costs, which average $12,000 per person annually for retirees. This realistic number often shocks people, but knowing it at 50 leaves 15 years to adjust course. Mistake number 2 involves carrying debt into retirement years. Recent data reveals that the average American in their 50s carries $27,000 in credit card debt alone. When mortgage debt, car loans, and other obligations are added, many 50-year-olds owe more than they have in retirement savings. This is a financial emergency that often goes unrecognized until it's too late. Debt in retirement is devastating because it forces retirees to withdraw more from savings accounts, accelerating depletion. Every dollar paid toward debt in retirement is a dollar that can't grow through compound interest. Credit card interest at 18 to 24% makes it mathematically impossible to build wealth while carrying balances. The solution requires aggressive debt elimination, starting immediately at age 50. All extra income should target the highest interest debt first, while making minimum payments on everything else. This avalanche method saves thousands in interest. Consider whether that new car purchase is worth delaying retirement by 3 years. Downsizing housing at 55 instead of 70 can eliminate mortgage debt entirely and free up capital for retirement accounts. The third mistake is failing to maximize catch-up contributions. Once someone turns 50, the IRS allows additional contributions to retirement accounts beyond standard limits. For 401k plans, an extra $7,500 can be contributed annually. For IRAs, an additional $1,000 is permitted. Yet only 15% of eligible 50-year-olds take advantage of these catch-up provisions. Over 15 years from age 50 to 65, missing catch-up contributions means leaving over $100,000 in potential retirement savings on the table. Even before accounting for compound growth, someone who maximizes catch-up contributions from 50 to 65 could accumulate an additional $200,000 compared to someone making only standard contributions. The fix requires budget restructuring to free up funds for maximum contributions. This might mean delaying luxury purchases, reducing dining expenses, or cutting subscription services. Many 50-year-olds are in peak earning years, making this the ideal time to sacrifice current spending for future security. Automate these contributions so they happen before money reaches checking accounts. Mistake 4 centers on Social Security claiming strategies. The most expensive mistake many people make is claiming Social Security benefits at the earliest possible age of 62, without understanding the permanent reduction in monthly payments. Someone entitled to $2,000 monthly at full retirement age of 67 will receive only 70% of that amount if they claim at 62. That's a 30% permanent reduction for the rest of their life. Over a 30-year retirement, this decision costs over $200,000 in lost benefits. Many people claim early because they fear Social Security will run out of money or because they need income immediately. Both reasons reflect poor planning rather than smart strategy. Social Security trust funds are projected to pay full benefits until at least 2034, and even after that, they can pay 78% of promised benefits indefinitely without any changes. The solution is to plan retirement income so Social Security can be delayed as long as possible, ideally until age 70, when benefits max out at 124% of full retirement age amounts. This might mean working part-time until 70, drawing down retirement savings strategically, or adjusting lifestyle expenses. For married couples, coordinating claiming strategies can maximize lifetime household benefits by hundreds of thousands of dollars. The fifth mistake involves neglecting healthcare planning before Medicare eligibility. People who retire before age 65 face a healthcare coverage gap that can cost $30,000 or more per year for quality insurance. Many 50-year-olds plan to retire at 60 or 62 without factoring in these massive healthcare expenses during the gap years before Medicare begins. Without employer coverage, individual health insurance premiums for a 55-year-old couple can easily exceed $2,000 monthly. Add deductibles, copays, and out-of-pocket maximums, and healthcare can consume $40,000 to $50,000 annually. A single serious illness during these gap years can devastate retirement savings. The fix starts with projecting healthcare costs as a specific line item in retirement planning. Consider whether working until 65 makes more financial sense than paying for private insurance. Research COBRA continuation coverage options, which lasts 18 months after leaving employment. Investigate healthcare sharing ministries and short-term health plans as bridge solutions. Some retirees relocate to states with better individual insurance, marketplace options and subsidies. Mistake 6 is investing too conservatively during the 50s. Fear of market volatility causes many 50-year-olds to shift entirely into bonds and cash equivalents. While reducing risk exposure makes sense as retirement approaches, going to conservative to early sacrifices growth during a critical accumulation decade. Someone with 15 years until retirement still needs equity exposure to combat inflation and build wealth. A 50-year-old who moves 100% into bonds earning 3% annually will see their purchasing power eroded by inflation. Meanwhile, a balanced portfolio with 60% stocks and 40% bonds historically returns 7% annually, more than doubling money over 15 years. The fear of loss often causes people to guarantee inadequate retirement savings. The appropriate fix involves age-based asset allocation rather than emotional reactions to market news. A common formula subtracts age from 110 to determine stock percentage. At 50, this suggests 60% stocks and 40% bonds. As retirement approaches, gradually shift toward more conservative allocations. Use target date retirement funds that automatically adjust allocation, removing emotion from the equation. Remember that retirement lasts 30 years, so portfolios need growth components even after retiring. The seventh and perhaps most damaging mistake is simply procrastinating on retirement planning altogether. Studies show that 42% of Americans in their 50s have never met with a financial advisor or created a written retirement plan. They know retirement is approaching but avoid confronting the reality of their situation. This avoidance often stems from fear that they're too far behind to catch up. Procrastination at 50 is exponentially more costly than at 30 because of lost time for compound interest to work. Every year of delay reduces options and increases the lifestyle sacrifices necessary. Someone who waits from 50 to 55 to start serious retirement planning cuts their accumulation window by 25%. The solution requires immediate action regardless of current financial position. Schedule a meeting with a certified financial planner within the next 30 days. Gather all financial documents, including retirement account statements, Social Security projections, debt obligations, and insurance policies. Create a comprehensive net worth statement. Calculate the retirement savings gap between current trajectory and actual need. Develop a written action plan with specific monthly and annual goals. Fixing these 7 mistakes won't happen overnight, but the power of starting at 50 cannot be overstated. Someone who aggressively addresses these issues at 50 can completely transform their retirement outlook by 65. The key is treating this as the financial emergency it truly is. Consider someone named Michael, who at 50 realized he had only $120,000 saved, $25,000 in credit card debt, and was contributing just 6% to his 401k. By eliminating debt, maximizing catch-up contributions, working 2 extra years until 67, and adjusting Social Security strategy, Michael was able to retire with over $600,000 and full Social Security benefits. The difference was recognizing the mistakes and taking immediate corrective action. Retirement security at 50 is not determined by where someone is today, but by what they do over the next 15 years. Every single mistake outlined here can be corrected with knowledge and disciplined action. The question isn't whether it's possible to fix these mistakes. The question is whether action will be taken today or postponed until options disappear. If you're in your 50s and recognized yourself in any of these 7 mistakes, understand that awareness is the first step toward solution. The worst financial decision is ignoring reality and hoping things work out. The best decision is confronting the situation honestly and building a plan to fix it. Subscribe to this channel for more retirement planning strategies designed specifically for people in their 50s and 60s who want to retire with confidence and security. Leave a comment below sharing which of these 7 mistakes you're working to fix right now. Your story might inspire someone else to take action. Remember, it's never too late to course correct, but every day of delay makes the journey harder. Start today.